Hi, I'm Christina, and today I'm doing a review of the Omni blend versus the Vitamix. Today we're using the Vitamix 4500 model and the Omni Blend 5. So here's just a closer view of the base. There are some pretty big similarities, as you can see. Okay, so let's do the blend test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an item and I'm going to blend it in each one of the blenders. And then I'm going to run it through a strainer and compare the size of the particles that are left in the strainer so we can find out which one blends finer and smoother, which I've never tried this, so it'll be a surprise to me too. Alright, let's start with something easy. We're going to blend this apple. So I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to put one half in the Vitamix, and I'm going to put the other half in the Omni blend. I'm going to add about a cup of water to each. Let's fire it up. So we'll say 60 seconds. The beep is the Omni blend. It beeps when it's finished. So I'm going to start with the taste test and see if I can taste a difference in the texture. The interesting thing, actually, I thought this one was going to feel warmer because it's already turning brown, but this one actually feels warmer to the touch than this one does. It is warm. The liquid is warm. I mean, just slightly warm. It's not like cooked or anything, but. And it's perfectly smooth. Only a hint of any kind of fibrousness. But you can actually feel the fibers. You just can kind of sense that they're there. Very smooth. It's definitely more fibrous, palpably more fibrous than the juice blended in the Vitamix. And I kind of expected this because I used a Vitamix for a few months before I bought the Omni blend. And what I discovered is that you have to blend things a little longer. So for argument's sake, let's give it another shot, the Omni blender, and see if it can get the apple a little bit finer. Okay, so we put the apple in and blended it for another 60 seconds in the Omni blender to see if we can give it another shot at getting as smooth as it is in the Vitamix. So now I'm going to do the taste test and see, and you can kind of already see, looking at the edges of this, that the pulp has thinned out a lot compared to how it was 60 seconds ago. It closer resembles the pulp in the Vitamix. Cheers. It's definitely much finer. The pieces of pulp are definitely much finer. I'm gonna have to taste both of them to compare and see if it's as smooth. They're both now warm to the touch. You can feel it as soon as you pour it into these suckers. They heat up a little bit when you blend them. Still perfectly fine. I mean, you can barely even tell there's any pulp. That's the Vitamix. It's close. It's really close. But you can palpate a slight difference. That it is more fibrous. You can taste. You can't really feel them in your mouth. It's still. I mean, you don't want to chew it. It's not that. I mean, the first time that I tasted it, I kind of wanted to chew on the fiber. It was that fibrous, but it's smooth. It's very smooth. But you can taste a difference. You can. The particles are just a little bigger. Let's pour it in our strainer and see what we get. Okay, so first we're going to pour the Vitamix apple through the strainer. we get. So you can kind of see the little pieces of pulp that are still left in the strainer. And now alright, I cleaned it out, and now we're going to go ahead and pour the Omni Blend apple. You can already see that there is quite a bit more pulp. It's still pretty fine, but I mean, very obvious difference. And I also find it interesting that the color is different. I mean, it's the exact same apple. Okay, my next blend test is going to be cacao. I got this cacao from Nicaragua, where it's like 2 kilos for $1. It's so cheap. We already established that the Omni Blend takes a little longer than the Vitamix. As a general rule, I'd say blend it for twice as long. So here you can kind of see the particles on the side to get an idea. Very smooth. Bitter. Very smooth. I can drink that. Now this one blended for almost 2 minutes. Surprisingly smooth. I don't think I've let it blend that long before. Very similar to the apples. A palpable difference, but still not disappointing. Okay, so let's do the strainer test. And I'll start with the Vitamix. Let's see how fine we got that. Look at that. Almost nothing. I mean, there's the frothiness, but as far as particles, gosh, almost nothing. And now the Omni Blend. No, I probably should have. Okay. Look at that. As far as what you can feel in your mouth, it's not a huge difference, but as far as what you can see, that's a big difference. All right, let's do one more. Let's do some greens. I'm gonna do some spinach and some kale, curly kale. Greens are kind of a deal breaker for a lot of people. I read tons of reviews when trying to decide which blender to buy, and a few of them had a hard time really blending the greens smooth, really smooth. Nobody wants to chew on their smoothie. That's why we put spinaches in a smoothie, so that we don't have to taste it, so we don't have to eat it out. So I'm gonna blend some greens with some water, some spinach and some kale, and we're gonna do the strainer test and see how smooth they get. This is gonna be so gross. Cheers. Perfectly smooth. I can't taste any fiber at all. Ugh, yuck. Very smooth. mean, perfectly smooth, really. I can, just barely detect a difference. You got a chunk right there. Oh, that's really close. This is the closest one yet. Definitely the closest one yet. I'd be tempted to call it a tie, but there's still a hint more fibrousness to the Omni blended spinach and water. But I mean, at this point, I feel like at this point we're splitting hairs. But let's do the strainer test. I'm doing this one-handed, so here's the Vitamix. This is spinach and kale blended in a couple of cups of water. There's a lot of frothiness there, but let's see. And there's enough frothiness and fiber that it is draining pretty slow. But I didn't taste it when I was drinking it. I didn't taste almost any fibrousness at all. You can't really see the fibers, you can just see the froth. Let me see if I can move it. Okay, there it is. It's really just almost foam, but you can kind of see, like if you've ever used a juicer, very similar. Just a really fine, really tiny particles. So that was the Vitamix. Alright, let's try the Omni blend. This is 2 cups of water, handful of spinach, and a leaf of kale. Not quite as frothy, actually, it seems, as the Vitamix. It's draining slowly, just like the Vitamix did. And you can kind of see, it's really hard to tell on this one because there's so much foam, but you can see the pulp right there. I mean, it's really small, just like as I expected when I tasted it. Very fine. All in all, I would say that both blenders do an excellent job at blending greens. I wouldn't be worried about the greens. The greens are going to do good. Quite well in both blenders. Okay, so one thing that we definitely learned is that the Omni blend is going to take a longer amount of time to perform the same function as the Vitamix. That being said, if you're looking for a blender that compares to the Vitamix and comes really close in performance, but it's a little easier on the wallet, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the Omni blend. Thanks for watching.